right, so we are here with a case study today, and the biggest thing that I really want you to take away from this case study is that you don't have to keep up. Well, you don't have to be sort of like a techie or just have all the latest tech gadgets to get started on YouTube. And also, it's literally never too late to get started. Biggest thing before we get started. But all right, we are going to talk about this case study. Okay, so the case study is on Dr. Regina Jennings. So she is very historical. So she was an original Black Panther. She was a professor, author. So her work spanned decades of just like education, activism, community leadership. But that alone doesn't build an audience in today's world. So she might have had a few podcasts, but other than that, like, you wouldn't be able to find her. You had to sort of either meet her in person or, find her in one of her community events. And so she really was hitting sort of like a digital wall because, she just didn't really know how to use social media. She didn't know how to use a lot of tech. So she came in with a lack of like digital access. So where she was when we started. So basically she was just struggling with tech. So Zoom, because our consulting calls, they're on Zoom. So she was struggling to get on there. She was navigating the worst email box ever, so Outlook. She wasn't even sure how to take a selfie on her phone, which is misspelled, by the way. I did not see that. By the way, I also hate Outlook. I think it's the possible worst email ever. Okay, anyway. But also she had a social media aversion. So in her exact words, she said she despised social media. She thought the whole thing was stupid. So that was also creating a really big mental block towards any sort of like digital marketing, getting online, anything. Google had also shut down her business email, which destroyed her mailing list of over 1,000 people. And then she also had like she didn't know anything about the digital world. So there was also sort of like a strategic confusion. So like terms like lead magnets, content strategy, any of those digital marketing terms that you hear online, foreign concepts. She had her books that she wanted to sell more of, but she just had no idea how to do that online, like at all. And so I was explaining to her, I was like, hey, you don't need to be a tech genius to basically get online and get on YouTube. You just really need a consistent strategy and sort of like the right bridge to the people that you want to reach. So I kept her strategy very, very simple. I basically just wanted to respect what she already did, but sort of like create a simple strategy around what she already did really well. So she's like very animated and she has a really fun, cool personality. She loved reading, teaching, and inspiring. So instead of like trying to work against that, we basically played into that and gave her a strategy that she could stay consistent in. So old approach probably would have been, get her on like every platform, try to get her to learn a whole bunch of things, try to make her dilute her personality for the algorithm, and just basically start from scratch. But what I did instead was like, okay, we're just going to master YouTube. We're going to find tools that fit you, that you can learn fast and that won't be super hard to learn. And we're going to build a content strategy that is very easy and repeatable. So what this actually looked like was we launched our channel. It's called Readings with Regina. And it was, again, concept that played to her strengths that she already had. And so what we did was we got her set up on StreamYard, which in my opinion is one of the really easier ways to live stream on YouTube. It's very simple. And yeah, it's pretty easy to set up and use, in my opinion. And then since she was a professor, she wanted to follow sort of like her schedule that she had when she was at university, which is like twice a week classes. So we were like, okay, you're gonna go live twice a week at this time because this is what she's used to. And yeah, we're just basically going to focus on like building community and just foster a community of people who want to read books like the ones that you have written, which focuses on a lot of like the Black Panther sort of like, you know, what they did and their poems and like, you know, her work. It focuses on a lot like that. So we're going to focus on a lot of the research and stuff that she did. So yeah, I mean, that consistency of showing up twice a week, every single week, I think there's only maybe like a few days that she missed. It's what created compounding results. So we created sort of like a playlist strategy. So each video kind of built on the last. And yeah, her audience began to grow, not just in numbers, but, you know, she has a very committed community. So yeah, again, we basically used StreamYard to get her online and live streaming, moving her from being unable to share a screen on Zoom to confidently managing live broadcasts on StreamYard, being able to add media to it, and, you know, no editing involved at all. She just simply shows up, does her live stream, and then goes on about her day. YouTube became her home base, so evergreen library of the things that she was talking about. It's where her personal brand is being built. And then yeah, she used to watch some of her community friends online like show up consistently every week, and she always wondered how she could do that too, or, you know, or she either that or she really thought it wasn't possible for her. But she was able to get on YouTube and do that for herself. And so the results, so we spent a few coaching sessions, probably about 6, figuring out her strategy, the tech, and, you know, making sure she knows how to do that. But once she finally launched her channel, within 45 days of launching her channel, doors were like beginning to open for her. So within that time frame, she had gotten 3 speaking gigs, like 45 days within launching her channel. Not only that, but she was able to increase her Amazon book sales without, you know, paying more money in Amazon ads. And she was beginning to build her own sort of like audience in her own community, and she's rebuilding her contacts currently. So I think currently she's around 1,000 subscribers, but within the 45 days, she actually gained 600 subs. So this is what happens when you just have a lot to share. You have a lot of history. You've done a lot of things, and you also get the right help to like get you on social media, get you on YouTube. So again, what this means for you, because I feel like her story it's not an exception. If you are a seasoned expert, legacy professional, or someone who basically has spent decades doing something, YouTube is not close to you. So one, you don't need to master every platform. Just pick one, YouTube, go deep, and just show up consistently and just master sort of like your YouTube strategy. And then also is your expertise is your content strategy. So you don't need to do trending sounds, viral dances. You just need to share what you already know clearly and confidently, consistently on camera. 3, a digital presence often multiplies offline authorities. So basically, I feel like a lot of people really have trouble sort of like saying or taking what they've done offline and taking what they've done in their real life and sort of like translating that online and making it translate to sales and stuff like that. But when done right, you know, a YouTube channel can multiply that. And then 4, the right guide, the right help changes everything. So basically having someone to help you or to guide you takes months and years of procrastination and, you know, trying to figure out what you're doing away. So yeah, if you want help getting started on YouTube to tell your story or to make more sales, book a call in the description box. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this case study. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.